Hey fight fans, welcome back to the Fight Book. This is the Indian accent guy back with some interesting fight news. Today we have rankings update after UFC 316 fights, Joshua Van and Kevin Holland's next fights, and Dana White effing with the UFC by promoting Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let's start it from UFC ranking update after UFC 316, and the first one, Merab the Machine Dvalishvili is now the UFC's number 2 ranked pound for pound fighter. Following his win over Sean O'Malley, he moves up 2 spots past Ilia Topuria and Jon Jones and now sits only behind Islam Makhachev. O'Malley is off the list, allowing Arman Sarukian to return at number 15. Anyway, O'Malley is already back in the gym and got a call out from Henry Cejudo. Moreover, Cejudo not only called out Sean O'Malley, he also favors Corey Sandhagen over Merab Dvalishvili and says that he would put Merab on his pound-for-pound list at number 1 if Merab beat Corey Sandhagen. Merab Dvalishvili, who had said that he would fight 2 more times after beating O'Malley, is now being realistic and says it won't be 2 but just 1 more fight this year, and he says he would like to fight on the MSG card in November or on the Vegas card in December next. He is also down for a champ versus champ matchup against Alexandre Pantoja if Pantoja moves up and the UFC wants this fight. Anyway, the co-headliner of UFC 316, Kayla Harrison, is now the UFC's number 3 ranked pound-for-pound women's fighter, trailing only Valentina Shevchenko and Yang Wei Li, who are potentially fighting each other next. Kayla moves up 4 spots by beating Pena, who falls 2 spots to number 5. Pena also takes the number 1 contender spot at 135 and says that she called dibs on the winner of Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Anyway, Harrison got a massive ovation from Dustin Poirier, Dakota Richiva, and the rest of her teammates as she returns to her gym with the UFC title. Moreover, Harrison has shared a photo of herself in a sauna during her UFC 316 weight cut, which is terrifying. After looking at that pic, I think Harrison vs Nunes has to be for the vacant 145-pound titles. Give her a break, man. Anyway, the build-up for this super fight has already begun, as Harrison's manager Ali Abdulaziz claims Amanda wanted Pena to win because she did not want to face Harrison, and he also says that Harrison will make Amanda Nunes quit again because she had already made her quit in training, and that is why Amanda Nunes had left that gym. Anyway, Mario Batista, with his 9th straight win, continues his steady climb up the bantamweight rankings, rising 1 spot to number 9. Additionally, Umar Nurmagomedov also moves up to the number 2 position at bantamweight in the update because Dana had showed interest in Umar vs Merab 2 in the post-UFC 316 press conference. That make effing sense. Anyway, Batista has his say on not being given a post-fight interview after his dominant win over Patchy Mix. He says he did the exact opposite of what he did to Aldo, but still that didn't seem good enough. He says he doesn't know if it was the UFC thing or Trump time delay, whatever it was, but that was weird. If you don't know, Batista was not given the opportunity even to talk at the post-event conference. Anyway, Patchy Mix also released the first statement after his loss at UFC 316, and he says that he took the fight on 3-week notice against a guy who was on an 8-fight win streak in the UFC, so he doesn't hang his head. He also vows to come back stronger. Anyway, the next update is from the UFC flyweight rankings, where Joshua Van moves up 4 spots to take the number 10 position at flyweight. The man he beat, Bruno Silva, falls 2 spots to number 14. Moreover, Manel Kape has pulled out of UFC 317 fight on June 28 against Brandon Royval, and Joshua Van is the one who accepted to be his short notice replacement. It will be Van's 6th fight in last 12 months, and that averages a fight in every 58 days. No matter the result of the fight on June 28, Joshua Van is already winning in his life as he brought his mom a new house over the weekend after his victory at UFC 316. Moreover, Amir Albazi had also took his shot, but he missed. He is now back to the Apex to take on Tetsuya Taira on August 2nd. Next update is from the UFC welterweight rankings, where Kevin Holland is rewarded for his victory over number 14 ranked Vicente Luque, as he now stands at number 14 spot in the updated welterweight rankings. The previous holder of the spot, Vicente Luque, now departs the list. Anyway, Holland claims that he also has a fight news coming soon. He has a plan to fight 5 or 6 times this year, and this was already his 3rd fight in 2025. Next, we have the undefeated light heavyweight Azamat Murzakanov moving up one spot to number 11 in the latest light heavyweight rankings update after beating the unranked Ribeiro. Moreover, big move for Waldo Cortes Acosta following his win over Sergey Spivak, driving up 3 spots to number 8 rank in the official heavyweight update. The man he beat, Spivak, falls 2 spots to number 9. Lastly, Wang Kong makes her debut to the official women's flyweight rankings and she debuts on the list at number 14, while the girl she beat, Ariane Da Silva, falls 2 spots to number 15. With the addition of Wang Kong, JJ Aldridge departs the list. Now something from this weekend's Kamaru Usman vs Joaquin Buckley card, as Joaquin Buckley claims in his recent interview that Islam Makhachev doesn't deserve to get the next title shot. Buckley believes that he is the one who deserves a title shot over Islam Makhachev with a win over Kamaru Usman. He says if Usman does beat JDM, he is not gonna stay there, he is gonna retire. He says Islam is definitely gonna run from a person like Buckley. Although he also revealed that if he gets a bonus in his fight versus Kamaru Usman, he will donate it to a tornado relief charities in St. Louis. Still, him getting KO'd would make me as happy as Levi cutting Beast Titan in AOT Season 3. Anyway, there is a fight change in this card as Charles Jourdain is out of his fight against Ricky Simon due to an eye injury. Replacing him is Cameron Smootherman, who is 1-1 in the UFC coming off a loss. Other than this fight, there is one more fight is also added on UFC 319 card at time by Duplessis vs Khamzat Chimaev. It is a middleweight bout between Nursultan Razibuev versus Brian Battle. Razibuev is 4-1 in the UFC, currently riding a 2-fight win streak, while Battle is on a 5-fight unbeaten streak in the welterweight division, and for this fight he is moving up to the middleweight division because he has missed his weight by 4 pounds in his last fight against Randy Brown. Now the updates from Jon Jones vs Tom Aspinall. Ariel Helwani reveals behind-the-scene drama in Jon Jones vs Tom Aspinall negotiations, and it is revealed that Jon Jones was offered a fight against interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. Though initially reluctant, Jones agreed to the bout after the UFC met his high financial demands. Despite giving a green light, Jones later pulled out, saying he was no longer interested in a fight, specifically not interested in facing Tom Aspinall, not in fighting altogether. This U-turn infuriated UFC executives who had already gone through extensive negotiations to secure the fight. They have reportedly been working overtime to make it happen ever since, but Jones is refusing to budge. Helwani made it clear that this isn't about Jones not wanting to fight anymore, it's about him not wanting to fight Tom Aspinall. Jon Jones says that he is now calling himself the Belt Bandit. Anyway, there is another fight, Diego Lopes vs Yair Rodriguez, that every fan wants, but Yair Rodriguez is the king. Lopes says that Rodriguez turned down a fight against him for Noche UFC in September. Rodriguez replied that fighting Lopes does nothing for him inside the company and he would rather fight him on the effing street. Anyway, Lopes revealed that he has been offered fights against Yair Rodriguez, Gene Silva, and even Aaron Pico, and that he has accepted every offer. If you don't know, Aaron Pico vs Movsar Evloev is rumored to take place at UFC Abu Dhabi card, and we also have an update on that fight because Movsar Evloev and Aaron Pico's manager Ali Abdulaziz says that he is yet to receive a contract for 2 of his clients to fight at UFC Abu Dhabi on July 26th. Abdulaziz does not believe Evloev should have to fight Pico. However, Evloev has told him that if the contract comes through, then he will sign it. Abdulaziz also talked about his another client Justin Gaethje and says that Gaethje might retire if he doesn't fight the winner of Ilia Topuria vs Charles Oliveira next. While I'm unsure whether a title shot is on the horizon, I empathize with Justin because he was next up for a title shot, then he did the UFC a solid and fought Holloway at UFC 300. Then again he did the UFC another solid by accepting a fight against Fiziev, who he had already beaten, to help keep the Miami card strong. And then the last but not least, it is officially announced that Riyadh season Canelo Alvarez vs Crawford September 13th super fight will take place in Las Vegas and will be telecasted on Netflix with no additional cost to its 300+ million subscribers. Moreover, it is also confirmed that it will be promoted by Dana White, TKO, and Sela alongside Turki Al Sheikh. They also revealed the 2 official posters for the fight, and one of them is just a recreation of Mayweather vs Canelo original poster. There will be a 3-stop press tour for Canelo versus Crawford fight, June 20 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, June 22nd in New York at Fanatics Fest, and June 27 in T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. No words on if Dana White will be present at all three press events, but June 27th is the night before UFC 317 in Las Vegas. And that's all in this video. Now again, you are completely up to date with the fight world. Now you already know what you're supposed to do. Share your thoughts in the comment section, like this video, and then do whatever you want.